Ladies and gentlemen, we now have some more leaks for Call of Duty 2024, which we can stop calling Call of Duty 2024 because apparently the title of this game is going to be Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War. Now, that's been rumored for quite some time now. It's actually been rumored for a long time, and they're just corroborating that rumor here. Now, the thing is, we've also had rumors before of titles for different Call of Duties that ended up not being true, so it's very possible this won't end up being the title. If I can recall, back during Black Ops Cold War's life cycle, it was actually originally rumored to be called Black Ops Vietnam, or even just Call of Duty Vietnam at some points. And then I remember Vanguard was rumored to be Call of Duty World War II Vanguard instead of just Call of Duty Vanguard. So it's very possible Gulf War, Black Ops Gulf War will not be the full title. It's very possible they will change it later on, but this is at least the rumored title for right now, which means we can call it that. It makes sense to call it that if all the rumors are hinting towards it being called that. Honestly, I thought it was going to be called Black Ops Cold War 2 because technically the Gulf War is part of the Cold War. It was the very end of the Cold War, actually like literally the last 2 years of the Cold War. The Cold War technically ends in 1991 and the Gulf War took place between 1990 and 1991. So we're going to get that early 90s feel here, which is going to be interesting. It's probably going to be quite similar to Black Ops Cold War, but obviously 90s is definitely a little different. The technology though is mostly the same. There's going to be a couple new things here and there for sure. But for the most part, in terms of the feel and the look of it, it's probably going to be rather similar to Black Ops Cold War. This source, which is Windows Central, also seems to talk about how this campaign is going to focus primarily on the CIA side of the Gulf War. It's also going to have obviously the primary military stuff going on there as well, and it's going to have a critical focus on different participants within the conflict, and it will dovetail into the end of the Cold War era and explore some of the consequences therein. So interesting for the campaign. I think this might be honestly one of the most interesting campaigns we ever get, and I'm not sure who's making it. It could be Raven Software or it could be Treyarch. Hopefully it's Treyarch. I hope they can actually make a campaign again because they haven't made a campaign since Black Ops 3. So I'd love to see them do another one and see what it could be like. This article also goes on to talk about some things regarding the multiplayer, and they don't go too in depth. All they say is that it will feature some returning maps from the Black Ops franchise, including Grind and WMD, which is interesting choices for maps. Those maps also existed in Black Ops 4. They were both, I believe, DLC maps, and yeah, they're good maps, so I'm happy to see those back. It's kind of just random maps, but sure, I'm happy to see them return. I'm not against those maps returning. I'm assuming we're going to have a bunch of new maps as well. It's not going to be like Modern Warfare 3, where all of the maps are remastered from prior Call of Duties. It's going to be all new maps, or mostly new maps, and then we're probably going to have a couple remakes here and there, and it sounds like Grind and WMD are going to be some of the remakes that we get, so that's cool. They also talk about round-based zombies returning, which that's not a surprise. I mean, that's like the opposite of a surprise. I see people talking about it like it's news. We had round-based zombies in every single zombies mode we've ever had before, except for Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 was the first time we didn't have round-based zombies. I know Vanguard technically didn't have traditional round-based at launch. It was still rounds in some way, shape, or form. And then of course with DLC, they added traditional round-based maps. So having round-based zombies, it's not a surprise. I'm not shocked. I'm not oh my God, round-based zombies. It's not a surprise. It's good to hear, but it's not a surprise whatsoever. Of course, I want to hear some more stuff about that. But what is a surprise in regarding this article, and I'm honestly not too crazy about this, apparently they might be doing an early access to the zombies mode. Now, what the details are about that is not clear yet, but there's a potential for that. And I don't really like that idea, to be honest. It could work just fine, but personally for me, I think the fact that we already get campaign early access, and of course, we also get the beta for multiplayer. We're already getting early access to the other modes in the game. And I kind of like the idea of zombies being the one thing saved for launch. That's the one thing that you do not get to experience until launch day. And everyone gets to experience it at the same exact time. And we get to, go around exploring for the Easter egg stuff. That to me is what zombies has always been. And I really like that. But getting early access to it, it's probably going to be stripped down, not as polished. I don't want my first experience playing a new zombies map to be a beta build of it. For multiplayer, that's fine, whatever. But zombies, I want to experience the full, finished, polished product right at launch. And of course, I have the option to do that. I could just not play the early access for zombies and wait till launch. But I'm not going to fucking do that. If everyone else is getting the opportunity to play it early, and I'm a content creator, of course I'm going to play it early. So yes, I have the option to do that, but I have to purposely handicap myself just so I can save the experience for launch. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I think having that full experience at launch where everything's polished and it's got the full Easter egg there available to us. That's just a much better experience in my opinion. I don't want to play a version of the map that is kind of cut down, and I don't know. I think it could work for an open world zombies mode though. Like, let's say this is going to have another version of Outbreak in this game. Let's say it has that, right? I wouldn't mind having an early access version of that though. Like, if we save the round-based maps for launch and then we have an early access to some Outbreak-like mode, or even like Onslaught just to test out some of the zombie mechanics, I'd be fine with that. That's no problem. But the maps themselves, I would much rather they just save those for launch. And it's gonna, it's in a way, this is a good thing though, because it also is at least letting us know that Treyarch is really confident about this product if they're willing to give us early access to it. But for me, I just don't know if I'd prefer that. But again, we'll just wait and see. It could be completely fine. It could turn out just fine, but I'm just a little bit worried about how that's actually going to be executed. And the last thing that is talked about in this article that I do want to talk about, they do go on to say that Treyarch had a full 4 years of development time on this game. Of course, Treyarch was helping out other studios in the meantime. They worked on Zombies in Vanguard. They worked on Zombies in Modern Warfare Zombies this year. They also did some stuff with like the ranked play in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So they did other things other than just work on this game. But in general, this is the most time any Call of Duty has ever gotten for development time. Easily, like by far. The longest we've had before was just a normal 3-year dev cycle, but this is 4 years. That is insane. They can get a lot done in 4 years, but I don't think it guarantees the game is going to be incredible. Because although, yes, they're going to have 4 years, so this game should theoretically be the most in-depth Call of Duty experience of all time across all of its modes. It should have a ton of content. But on the other hand, this is going to be a very different Call of Duty for Treyarch, because it's the first time Treyarch is not working off of their own engine. They're going to be working on this new engine that was created for Modern Warfare 2019, and of course what Vanguard used in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. So it's very different for Treyarch. They are working with new tools here. And of course, the engine is just the tools used to make the product. It can be definitely their own game. They can still have their own feel. It could still feel very arcadey. It could feel like Cold War. It doesn't have to feel like the recent games just because it's working with that same engine. But will it though? That is the question. Will Treyarch keep their own style, their own feel, their own gameplay design, or will they go more in the direction of some of the recent Call of Duty games just because they want to keep in line with what these other studios are doing? Because look at Modern Warfare 3. I love Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer. I think it's really fun, but there's a lot of things that Infinity Ward forcefully changed for that studio, and maybe Activision had some say in that as well. I'm sure it wasn't Infinity Ward who was doing all of it, right? So what if, because they're all in the same application, because yes, this game is going to be added on the same application. Not a lot of people know that, but it will be on that same application that Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are on. So, is that going to mean that Activision is going to have some hold over what they can do, and they're going to try to make it feel closer to those games by restricting what Treyarch can really do with the experience? I hope not. The only thing we know currently, we've heard some leaks about some leaked perks that were being added to Black Ops 2024, and one of the perks mentions Tactical Sprint, which confirms Tactical Sprint will be in this Call of Duty game. That is a feature that a lot of people don't like, and it's something that it doesn't really have that Treyarch feel, but it is now going to be thrown into a Treyarch game. So it definitely has this feeling of worrisome for me just because of that. And having 4 years development time will really mean nothing if the gameplay design isn't great. And honestly, if you look at the past like 6 Call of Duties, the best Call of Duties within that time were the ones that were rushed, which is hilarious to me. Black Ops 4, Cold War, and Modern Warfare 3 are my favorite Call of Duties of the past 4 or 5 years, and yet those are the 3 CODs that were the most rushed and had the least development time out of all of them. That is insane to me, but it's just the way it is. I have no idea why, and so I guess we'll wait and see what happens this year, but hopefully Treyarch is going to get to keep their own style. They're going to keep their own game design. It's going to be a solid multiplayer. Hopefully the zombies is solid as well. I really want them to go back with that Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 feel. I don't want to see it to be too much like Cold War. There's elements of Cold War I really like and would like to see return, don't get me wrong, but there's also a lot of elements of Cold War I absolutely despise and do not want to see again, like for example, the HUD and even just the Easter eggs and how they were made, just the way they were, it's too easy. I don't want to see that again. I want it to be a difficult and in-depth zombies experience that has a lot of stuff to do within the maps and a lot of personality within the maps as well. Don't try to keep them realistic or any of that bullshit. Like, I want some really crazy crap. That's all I'm asking for, right? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because of course we still got over 12 months, or I guess over 11 months at this point, before we're going to get to actually play this game. I'm sure in terms of teasers, we'll probably get those around July, August, just like we did for Modern Warfare 3. But for leaks, it's going to be leak season, man. Leaks are going to get crazy. We're probably going to know this entire game by the time we hit March of 2024. Because, of course, with this Call of Duty being on the same application, leaks are just going to keep flowing in. So expect to know literally everything about this game really soon. It's just how it is now. I don't know why Activision thought it would be a good idea to put all the future Call of Duties on the same application. It was a really dumb idea, and I hate everything about that. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what's going to happen with this game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will see you guys all in my next one. Peace out.